ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् So in the last lecture, towards the end, we were classifying, the Nayayikas have actually classified it the various ways, Shabda Pramana. And one of the classification is a Drashtartha, Adrashtartha. It was a little bit confusing, so I am clarifying. Drashtartha, Adrashtartha means, this classification, Drashtartha, it basically, the Shabda basically works as a Pramana to give you a knowledge which can be verified. That's called Drashtartha. And Shabda can give you the knowledge which you cannot verify. You believe it, you have a Shraddha. So like Punya Papa, etc. Adrashtartha. So two ways. So this kind of a classification based on Drashtartha and Adrashtartha by Nayayikas, is this classification is based on the content or the Vishaya, so far the subject matter. Drashta and Adrashta. Vishaya is a Drashta or either a Adrashta. The second type of classification is with respect to the source, Laukika, Alaukika, Shabda. So, Laukika, Alaukika, you can understand. Laukika, the words of a person who is Apta, and words of a Veda who is also Apta. So, but one is a Laukika, one is a Paurushaya, other is a Paurushaya. So classification of a Shabda Pramana either based on a source or a Vishaya or a subject matter, or the classification is based on basically the source. And the first one is based on a Vishaya and the second one is based on a source. So this is the way. So either a Drashtartha, Adrashtartha, Shabda Pramana, or Laukika, Alaukika. And then, I briefly referred to four arguments formulated by Nayayikas to prove existence of Ishvara. So Ishvara is a Nimitta Karanam, and they don't believe in Upadana Karanam that Ishvara is an Upadana Karanam, that they don't believe. Upadana Karanam is what for them? It is atoms, basically. That they will take up that when Vaisheshika comes. Swamiji, when all these things will come? Don't worry. Swamiji, you initially, I remember, we thought that you are going to talk about the concept of moksha in Nyaya and Vaisheshika and this and that. I am going to give you the whole chart. Don't worry about it. But first, because people now slowly, little bit, where is he leading? I don't know. Let us talk to him that, let him stop and go to the Mundaka Upanishad. I am giving you the whole chart. Don't worry about it. What is the concept of moksha here? This and other things also in a chart form. Just wait for some time. I understand your concern that Swamiji is wasting our time. It's not. Don't worry about it. But give me some time. In before that, I will let me make some infrastructure before I give you that chart whole thing. So anyway, so Upadana Karanam is atoms for them, for Naiyayikas. Nimitta Karanam is Ishvara. And Ishvara, such a Nimitta Karan, the creator is there or not? Well, they gave 4 arguments which I talked to you. Very beautiful. We do not do this. We always indicate to the Shruti. Shruti says Ishvara is. Tasmad vai tasmad, etc. Anyway, and so why and the Naiyayikas definitely adopts, basically borrows rather, the concept of Upadana Karanam as atoms from Vaisheshika only. I have told you they have a partnership. So Nyaya system basically accepts metaphysics from Vaisheshika. Vaisheshika accepts Pramana Vichara, epistemology from Naiyayika. So that is how they have a collaboration with each other. So anyway, so the role of Ishvara is a Nimitta Karan. They call it as a Tatastha Ishvara. So anywhere, even Bhashyam and everywhere you will find these words. So Nyaya system is basically is not a full-fledged theist system, basically. Full-fledged theist system is one. Theo means God, you know. Theology has come from that only. So full-fledged theistic system is one who accepts Ishvara as a Nimitta Karanam and Upadana Karanam also. That way we are fully theistic, if you want to say. But these people accept only Nimitta Karanam as Ishvara and Upadana Karanam as something else, atoms or whatever. So they are not full-fledged theistic system. These are the words used by philosophers. We don't use such kind of words, but I am just telling you. Anyway, now when we speak of the Shabda Pramana, well, Naiyayika has worked out the way, how should we understand the words spoken or written? Naiyayikas have found out, very beautiful. Naiyayika says, this Pujya Swamiji has also talked about it, I am just repeating and reminding you. Naiyayika says a sentence is a group of words, basically. Even if someone wants to refer to then what I am going to say now, you can refer it to in Vedanta Paribhasha. There also this discussion is there, very elaborate discussion on the topic which I am discussing now. And Pujya Swamiji has also mentioned in many classes. Anyway, so they say a sentence is a group of words and each word has its own meaning. And the words which are combined basically are in a sentence as per the rules of syntax or semantics they call. And then you get a Vakya. So for a Vakya, well, we have to understand the meaning of the sentence. So that is a Vakyartha. So the word sense is a Padartha. The sentence sense or the sense of the sentence, meaning of the sentence is Vakyartha. And then what are the conditions to be fulfilled by the words in order to understand the meaning of a sentence? We have to see that. So we just can't, because sentence is a group of words. So okay, pick up the words and put as you understand. Like Rama, forest, Lakshmana, goes, Sita, chariot. Oh, sentence. Because sentence needs a verb. So I have said goes. So you feel what is this? He is telling it is sentence. Yeah, sentence is a group of words, right? So I have spoken these words. Is it sentence? No. That's what they say. So Padartha is the one thing. I mean, the sense of a word, Padartha, meaning of a word is one thing. Whereas the meaning of a sentence is different. So basically then 4 conditions are there in order to understand the meaning of a sentence in spite of your understanding Padartha. If you are like what words I have spoken, all meaning you know, right? Rama, Lakshmana, forest, this, all you know. But you have not, even though you are knowing the meaning of the words, you have not got the meaning of the sentence. So in order to understand the meaning of the sentence, you need four things. Anyway, so four conditions are there. If those conditions are fulfilled by ultimately the words, then definitely it will give you a meaning of a sentence, vakyartha. First condition, akanksha, expectancy. So suppose I utter a word Rama, Rama, and stop. Then the moment you hear this word Rama, my utterance has created an expectancy in you. What would I say further about Rama? Well, so that kind of a expectancy is there after hearing a word from me. So that expectancy has to be fulfilled. So Rama married to a Sita, etc. Then if I say Rama married, still there is an expectancy. If you know, that's another thing. But Devadatta married, suppose. If I just say Devadatta, then you have expectancy. Means what? Devadatta means what? Did he do something? Or so Devadatta word has created an expectancy. I said married. So then, well, still there is an expectancy. Devadatta married to a so and so, etc., etc. Then their expectancy gets over. So basically, the first condition is a expectancy. So well, and until this expectancy is fulfilled, if it is not fulfilled anyway, then sentence is not complete. Means you will not get the meaning of the sentence. So sentence which is written or spoken should fulfill this condition of expectancy. First. Second, yogyata. Words are there, but appropriateness, fitness. Like, suppose I utter a word fire, right? And the next word I utter should be such that it should be compatible with the meaning conveyed by the first word fire. So, when first word fire is there, right? And then it has its meaning. Now I should utter a other word which should be incompatible with the meaning of the first word. Fire cools. Over. So this will not work. Fire burns, then that's fine. So the meaning of the word fire, incompatible to that meaning, I have to utter the second word. Well, so the second condition, so the verb which I have used is not compatible with the first word I uttered. And so there is no appropriateness, fitness with the meaning of the first word. And therefore, sentence should be such that when you generate an akanksha, when you generate an expectancy by utterance, then you should fulfill the other condition also by putting an appropriate word. Then it will give a meaningful sentence. So fire burns is a meaningful sentence. Fire cools is not meaningful sentence. Rama created expectancy. Well, to fulfill that expectancy, I utter a word. Rama was a caveman. You see, what are you saying? So, Rama was a caveman. So it is not. Rama was a lord, etc. Then that is appropriate. So, I have to utter a second word. To fulfill your expectancy, I have to utter a word which should be incompatible with the meaning of the first word which I uttered. Clear? So, akanksha, yogyata. Swamiji has some people may be remembering now, Puja Swamiji has talked about it. I don't know whether you have listened him or not, but we have listened. So, akanksha, yogyata. Expectancy, fitness, appropriateness. Third thing, sannidhi. Sannidhi means proximity. You are fulfilling expectancy, correct. You are using appropriate word also, correct. Yet the meaning of the sentence is not understood. Why? Proximity. Rama. What? Tomorrow. Over. over. So the words which are uttered, even though to fulfill expectancy, even though appropriate, should have a proximity in utterance or in writing, both. You write Rama on the first page and you write went to Ayodhya or went to forest on the fifth page, and then expect that you will have a meaning of a sentence. No. You will have a meaning of words, that's true, but you will not have a meaning of sentence. Yeah. So this is how. The third thing is a sannidhi, proximity. Sometimes people are accustomed to speak very deliberately that will speak so slowly that they will be tasting our patience, Anyway, so one word right today, now they will speak, and another word they will speak after 5 minutes. Then you are not going to understand the meaning of sentence. You are going to understand padartha, but not vakyartha. So definitely in newspaper, as in Hindus, the newspaper in India, in the advertisement section, they, sometime you will see one word in corner. There is an advertisement section in that section you will find one word in that advertisement section in one corner, and and that word has created expectancy, and then they will write in that, in the down below they used to write, you will see the another word in the same corner on the same page tomorrow. Really? So they create, because it's an advertisement, so they have to create an expectancy, eagerness in you. Then next day you will find in the same section, the same place, in same corner, on the same page, another word. But then they put such a word that creates an expectancy further. Then they say, well, see tomorrow's newspaper, in the same section, in the same page, the third word will be there. This is I don't think you will understand a sentence. You understand a word, that's fine. But if you keep such a long distance, either in writing, either in speaking, then even though you understand the word, you have a padartha, you will not have a vakyartha. So, and therefore, the third important condition, see the Nayayika, So they have found out the third condition is proximity, sannidhi they call. So anyway, and it is very difficult to understand the meaning of a sentence if the words written or spoken with a long gap. Okay, fourth, very important for us also, is a tatparya, intention of the speaker or writer. This is the most important thing for Vedantins and for Mimamsakas. Anyway, so when you have to construe the meaning of a sentence, there are certain formal conditions. Well, if without understanding a tatparya of a sentence, if one tries to construe the meaning of a sentence, the purpose of uttering or writing sentence is defeated. So if one wants to understand the textual interpretation, undertake the textual interpretation rather, it's very important to take into account this fourth condition, tatparya. Very important for us, textual interpretation. Shabda Pramana I am discussing only for this purpose, believe me. That textual interpretation is very important, especially Veda, Upanishad. For us and our beloved brother Mimamsakas. Because Nayayikas don't go by the Veda. For them, reasoning is most powerful. So for them, it's a marginally important thing for them to a textual interpretation. The textual interpretation in the modern world is called hermeneutics. Hermeneutics, they have their own terminology also. They have their own, definitely, technical words, paribhasha, naturally. So, but they think that it is a big thing, hermeneutics, textual interpretation. It actually started with the interpretation of the Bible, biblical text, and then later it has gone into several fields now. They feel that hermeneutics is a new branch of science, textual interpretation. We are having since age, since the beginningless time, and therefore anyway. But only they put some new words and new new technical words, etc. We feel it is a new branch, nothing new. So textual interpretation we were doing, whole our sampradaya is coming from that only. Anyway, so this the interpretation of scriptural text is most important, and in conversation also we go by the intention of the either a speaker, mostly speaker in conversation. Like I give you an example, one son and father, they don't go together. They have a lot of differences of opinion, etc. And his son does not generally obey the father. And that son, well, one day he said to his father that, I'm not going to eat dinner today. I'm going to dine with so and so person. He gave some name. And the father was knowing who is that person. He was a rogue. And so he did not like. So what he said to son, that, you can as well eat poison. Means eating with this person is as good as eating poison. So if literal the meaning of the sentence means he is telling son to eat poison, no. Means basically this son, even though whatever kind of a son, maybe of a one earring and whatever, but he did not take it literally. He takes basically father's intention. So sentence has always an intention, tatparya. So Nayayikas of course are not interested in that textual interpretation, as I told you very much. But Vedantic schools, especially Mimamsakas and Advaitas, and other Vedantins also, Vedantin means, we feel Vedantin means Advait Vedant. No. Vedantins means Ramanujas also, Madhvacharyas, Madhvas, Ramanujas, Vallabhas, all these are also Vedantin. Somehow Vedanti means basically we feel always we, Advait Vedanti. No, it's not. Dvaita, Dvaitavadi, Vishishta, Dvaitavadi, Dvaitavadi, all Vedanta. Because they interpret ultimately Upanishads in their own way to derive their own philosophy. And therefore they are all Vedantin basically. Anyway, and Vedantis definitely take it very seriously. And we interpret Upanishads, textual interpretation, based on a 6 lingas. And I told you, Mimamsakas also and we also. So, but the greatest service is done by Nayayika when he has formulated these conditions ultimately, and finally he has highlighted Tatparya also in order to construe the meaning. And and I have told this thing several times, how to understand the intention of the scriptural text, because that is not a person. You can ask, otherwise clarify, right? Like when father said, you as well eat poison. Then father, the son can ask, that what do you mean? I am not going to eat poison. Why are you saying like that? But here it's Upanishad. So what is, when Upanishad utters a word or writes a sentence, then how will you understand its intention? So we have developed a 6-fold method. Upakrama upasamharo, abhyaso, apurvata phalam, etc. Arthavadopapatischa lingam tatparya nirnaya. And I am going to talk about that textual interpretation, taking one text particularly, taken in the Sampradaya by all. And that is a 6th chapter of a Chandogya Upanishad, Tattvamasi Prakaranam. There all these 6 lingas are there, and by analysis, by analyzing the text, particular text called Tattvamasi Prakaranam, by the 6 lingas, we definitely can arrive at the essence or the intention of the Upanishad. So anyway, so Upakrama Upasamharo. So basically, Upakrama means beginning. I gave you example also. If you want to understand the intention of a news channel, go by what the newsreaders say in the beginning. and go at the end, what does he say? Means that is these are the tatparya of today's news. So initially he or she utters some headlines, and in between, little bit elaboration, and then lastly also again he or she utters headlines. So that's how they are headlines. That is a purport. So here also we have the same thing. We take the text Tattvamasi Prakarana. What is the intention? What is the tatparya of this Prakarana? And that is the tatparya of not that section, tatparya of that Upanishad. That is the tatparya of another Upanishad. That is the tatparya of third Upanishad. That is the tatparya of Vedanta. So we just take as, for example, even one can go in Mundaka Upanishad and also can find the same tatparya. Tatparya is Brahman or Jeev Brahma Ikyam. How will you know? How will you know? Brahman is a tatparya. Advitiya Brahma. Advitiya Brahma. So I mean, Jiveshwara Ikyam is a tatparya or Brahman is a tatparya. So Jeev Brahma Ikyam is a tatparya or Brahman is a tatparya? Brahman is a tatparya. Once again I am asking you. Brahman is a tatparya or Jeev Brahma Ikyam is a tatparya? Jeev Brahma Ikyam is a tatparya. Hey, what are you saying? What are you saying? If Brahman is a tatparya which is Advaitam, non-dual, one without the second, means what? Is it not identical to Jiva? Otherwise, how will it be Advitiyam? Please tell me. So please don't worry about it. Brahman is a tatparya or Jiva Brahma Ikyam is a tatparya. And that taking the Prakranam, Tattvamasi Prakranam, then you should understand. Well, anyway. So, Upakrama. Take this sixth chapter. What is in the beginning of sixth chapter? Upakrama. Well, Sadeva Some Damagra Asid Ekameva Dvitiyam. This Sat alone is, which was there before the creation, which is one without the second, which is the cause of the creation, etc. etc. That's a Upakrama. And Upasamhara. That's a one linga. Upakrama, Upasamhara. Beginning and end. Upasamhara is what? Aitadatma vidagum sarvam sa atma tattvamasi shvetaketo, etc. Aitadatma vidagum sarvam. Well, everything. Yeshaha atma yasya. So for the whole creation, atma alone is the essence. Because atma or sat alone, was in the beginning, before the creation, and from there only everything came, and therefore everything is sat. But everything is sat or everything is atma. Nothing to worry about. Aitadatma vidagum sarvam. Idam sarvam atma alone. That Sat alone is the Atma for everything, and that is you. Sa Atma Tattvamasi Shvetaketu. Anyway, so Upakrama Upasamhara reveals Jiveshwara Ikyam or Brahman, which is non-dual. Then second is Abhyasa. Second linga. To understand, for what we are doing, to understand that Tatparya. 4 conditions are required to get to understand the meaning of a scriptural sentence. Akanksha, Yogyata, Sannidhi and Tatparya. So we are discussing Tatparya. To understand the Tatparya or the intention of the speaker called Upanishad, we have taken an example of a Chandogya Upanishad 6th chapter, in which we are understanding the Tatparya of the Upanishad by applying 6 lingas. 6 lingas are there, 6 indicatory marks are there by which we can understand the tatparya of that section or Upanishad is Brahman. And out of that I have taken 1. Upakrama Upasamharo is a 1. Beginning and end. Check the initial portion of that section and the end portion of that section. Second is a Abhyasa. In a 6th chapter, several sections are there. You find in all sections one statement is very common, repeated. Aitadatma vidagum sarvam sa atma tattvamasi shvetaketo. Aitadatma vidagum sarvam sa atma tattvamasi shvetaketo. So aitadatma vidagum sarvam. Idagum sarvam. Idam sarvam is atma alone. Idam sarvam Brahman. And that is sa atma tattvamasi, sa atma tattvamasi, sa atma tattvamasi. So basically it is repeated 9 times. And so you repeat something which you want to emphasize. And therefore, definitely that must be the intention of the speaker, or Upanishad, or writer, whatever. So, basically, here, So Abhyasa also reveals Jiveshwaraikyam, Sa Atma Tattvamasi Shvetaketo Sa Atma Tattva. Third linga, Apurvata. Apurvata means this section or Upanishad gives you a knowledge, it gives you a knowledge of an entity which is not known through other pramana, which cannot be known through other pramana, basically. Pramanantara avedyam, pramanantara agamyam, apurvatvam, this is how they define. Apurvatvam, uniqueness. Because pramanantara agamyam, which cannot be known through other means of knowledge. The subject matter of the Upanishad is such which cannot be known through other means of knowledge, and that is true. Brahman cannot be known through any other means of knowledge available to the human being. Either a pratyaksha, anumana, arthapatti, nothing. Right? And therefore, well, the third linga is apurvata. Upanishad does talk about a subject matter which is very, very unique, which is not available for pratyaksha. But how can you say the Chandogya, that section talks about something which is apurva? Very beautifully Uddalaka, proves that. And so, how can you say this Brahman is apurva? Right? Brahman is a subject matter, but how can you say it is apurva? Well, the thing is, in Chandogya, Uddalaka asked the student to bring a lump of salt. And to dissolve it in a cup of water, and then asked to bring a cup of water which has dissolved salt. And then teacher asked the student, Shvetaketu student, Uddalaka asked to taste that water from the bottom, from the middle, from the upper portion. And Shvetaketu says the water is salty. Then Uddalaka says, my dear student, oh my dear son, can you see the salt in water? Well, I can't see, he says. I know there is salt in water, but even though I know that there is salt in water, but the salt is imperceptible. Even though salt has pervaded the entire water, because he is tasting from the upper portion and middle portion and the bottom portion. So salt has pervaded the entire water. I experience also, but it is imperceptible. You have understood now what I am going to say. So same way, it is not perceptible. So, then Uddalaka says, look, this body also is, the body is a bundle of matter. It is also like a statue. Suppose somebody makes my statue. Just think, what a big deal. I can imagine somebody in Madame Tussauds Museum, somebody is putting my statue. Just think. So my statue is also there and I am also there. But there is a difference, right? There is a difference. What is the difference? You feel sentiency in the whole body. Sentiency in this body. In my statue there is no sentiency, because on that crow also can sit, and then crow can do something which but that on Gandhiji's statue in Ahmedabad, always they had to clean several times in a month. You can understand, because either a pigeon or a crow or sit on that head and do something, and therefore they have to clean that, otherwise it looks so dirty. It's on the circle of the road, etc. Anyway, but if crow sits in my head, before it does something, I will remove it. So sentiency is pervading this body. I experience the sentiency, but that consciousness or sentiency is imperceptible. Imagine giving example of a salt. The salt is experienced in the whole water, yet the salt is imperceptible in the water. Same with the sentiency you are seeing, that's how the life is. Sentience in the body means a live body. So a live body itself proves the consciousness is there. But then I want to see now. I experience the consciousness, but I want to see consciousness. That's not available like that. Anyway, so it is pervaded, but it is not seen. So what is that invisible thing which pervades and enlivens the body? Teacher then says, well, Sadeva Sumedam Agrasit, that Brahman, well, the Sat, which basically is the salt of the life, etc., etc. And what is that Brahman which is in the body? Atraiva kila Sat na Somya na Nipalayase. Atraiva. That Sat which was there before the creation, and from this the whole creation has come. Therefore, Sat is right now there. Like from the clay, well, all the parts have come. So every part has nothing but the clay. So from Sat alone, Sadeva Sumidam Agra Asit, that from Sat, all names and forms have come. So every form, name and form has the Sat. Then okay, then I want to see the Sat. No. You experience the Sat, but it is not available for perception. Like that. So you don't see Brahman, but it is Brahman which is, so it is Pratyaksha Agocharam, Pramanantar Agamyam. Could you follow now? It is not available to any Pramana. And therefore Apurvam. I told you the definition of Apurvam is, well, Pramanantar Avedyam Apurvattam. Upanishad establishes the subject matter or establishes this Brahman, which is not available to other means of knowledge. And that is very nicely has been brought out in this by a teacher, Dalaka, while teaching to Shvetaketu. The nature of Brahman, which is such, which is not available to other means of knowledge, only through means of knowledge called Upanishad. So therefore, Upanishad establishes a subject matter called Brahman, which is Pramanantar Avedyam. So Apurvattam condition of the Shastra, of this of the Shastra is also established. So we can understand that is the Tatparya of the Upanishad, which is Apurva, which cannot be known through other means of knowledge. And what is that? Brahman. So Atma basically, existence of Atma is not established by a Shastra. Brahman is established by Shastra. The Atma, which is Brahman, is established by Shastra. And so this is the third lingam. So, and that is, we can derive an important corollary also from that Brahman is a Vishaya of a, or Prameya of a Vedanta. Not only that, Brahman is the unique subject matter of the Vedanta. Brahman is known only through the Vedanta. Means Atma is known to you, but Brahman is not known to you. Please understand that. You may say, I am a conscious being, and you say it is self-existent and self-revealing. Then how can you say Atma is revealed by Shastra? Atma is not revealed by Shastra. Atma is Brahman, that is revealed by Shastra. Brahman is not known to you. Atma is not revealed by Shastra. If Atma is revealed by Shastra, Atma is not self-revealing. If anything which is revealed by Pramana is not self-revealing. Anything which is revealed by a Pramana is not self-revealing. Naturally, Pramana reveals it. So, basically, this is revealed by Pramana, eyes. So, this is not self-revealing. It is inert. Anything revealed by Pramana, anything illumined by Pramana, is not self-illumined, naturally. Self-illumining does not require Pramana. That's what we call aparoksha. Anyway, what I am saying is Atma is not revealed or illumined by the Shastra. Shastra illumines Atma. Otherwise, I will not know that there is such a thing as Atma. It's not so. Atma is self-revealing. I is self-revealing. I am conscious being is self-revealing. I don't require any means of knowledge, including Shastra. I am Brahman is revealed by the Shastra. Because even though Atma is self-revealing, I don't know it is Brahman. There is an ignorance of the self. Yeah. Otherwise, Shastra has no role. Oh, Swamiji, I am self-revealing, I don't require any pramana to prove Atma, etc. Then why should I go to, then where is self-ignorance? Atma is self-revealing, then how is self-ignorance possible? Yeah, that's true. But you don't take yourself to be Brahman. In fact, you take yourself to be other than Brahman all the time. That proves that there is self-ignorance. And therefore, Shastra walks in. Shastra walks in to say that you are Brahman. You are Brahman, but you don't know you are Brahman, then Shastra has to tell you. That is how Pramanas have a role. Shastra has a role. Anyway, this is the Apurvattam. establishing Brahman. Or Jiva Brahma. Aikyam means you are nothing but Brahman. You are identical to Brahman, etc. is revealed by Shastra. No other pramana can do. That's the third one. Fourth, phalam, right? Upakrama, upasamharo, abhyasoho, apurvata, phalam. Phalam means whenever any utility is mentioned, phalam is not mentioned, then it is auxiliary. So like, they say this body is Annamaya. You came to know. Body is Annamaya. Okay. So from Annam it is born and sustained by Annam, goes back to Annam, Prithvi. It goes back. Oh, body is Annamaya. Good. What is Phalam? Now I know I am Annamaya. This body is Annamaya. I know. What is Phalam? Let me look into the Shastra. Does the Shastra says that if you know this, you will get lot of Annam throughout the life without earning a single pie, etc. It's not. Single penny. No, it's not. Therefore, this is auxiliary. If phalam has been mentioned, that must be the tatparya of that section. Brahmavid apnoti param. Knower of Brahman gains limitlessness. Oh, therefore the Brahman is the subject matter. Is the subject matter of this Upanishad. Brahma Jnanam is important. Brahmani tatparyam asti. So Chandogya, in that section, the phalam is mentioned. Yeah, mentioned. Tasya tavadeva chiram yavanna sampatse atha vimokshe. So, ultimately Videha Mukti and Jivan Mukti both have been talked about. This essence of this is Brahmagyani gets Jivan Mukti at the time, and at the time of death, gains Videha Mukti. Also, we have discussed several times Jivan Mukti, Videha Mukti from the standpoint of this Vyavahara, empirical reality, from the standpoint of this Ajnanam, from the standpoint of Jiva. We say now he's become free. Jiva was bound, now he is free after gaining Brahmajnanam. All this is there. Anyway, so the phalam of a Brahmajnanam is mentioned, and Brahman is the tatparya of the Upanishad. Anyway, and this phalam has not been mentioned anywhere else. Other than this Upanishad. Nowhere it has been mentioned like this. So many topics are discussed in Upanishad, but Shastra does not give phalam for all types of knowledge. Other things are there, but does not mention phalam. Anyway, so phalam also is a Brahmalingam. Brahmalingam means that Brahman is a tatparya of the Upanishad. Fifth, Arthavada, glorification. Arthavadopapatisya lingam tatparya nirnaya, right? Upakrama, upasamharo, abhyasaha, apurvata, phalam, and Arthavada. So in the Upanishads, this Advaita Jnanam is glorified. Therefore, that is the tatparya. Advaitam Brahma or Brahman is a tatparya of the intention. Brahman is it. The Shastra wants to talk about this Brahman only. Shastra's intention is to speak about Brahman. Where it has been told in the Tattvamasi Prakaranam, glorification of Brahmajnanam is there. Eka Vijnanena Sarvamidam Vijnatam Bhavati. It's there in 6th chapter. So Brahmajnani becomes Eka Vijnanena, means Brahma Vijnanena Sarva Vijnanam Sarvamidam Vijnatam Bhavati. So Brahmajnani becomes as though Sarvajna. Yes, Sarvajna, Sarvavit, etc. In that section we saw that Ishvara is a Sarvajna and Sarvavit, and Brahmajnani is a Sarvajna. He even Brahmajnani knows everything. Essentially is one thing alone, that is me, or that is Brahman, either. And therefore Brahmajnani becomes a Sarvajnani. It's a glorification. So Sarvajnanam means Sarva Atmajnanam, basically. So everything, he gets the knowledge of essence of everything is Brahman, is the self, which is as good as knowing everything. Because you know the essence of everything as Brahman. So you know everything now. Essence of every part is clay. So you have known all the parts now. Or pans and clay, other things also. So by glorifying like this, the 6th chapter indirectly glorifies Brahman. Glorifying Brahmagnani, he indirectly glorifies what? Brahman. Naturally. When you glorify, when you praise a wise person, definitely you are praising that's Brahman. Basically, because of that, he is called a wise person now. And therefore, so definitely, if you are indirectly praising Brahman, therefore the Tatparya, the intention of the Upanishad is Brahman. Right? So this is how it has been told. So glory goes to ultimately Brahman only. It is all, this is called Stuti or Stotra, Brahma Stuti. And in some other Upanishad, Arthavada will be differently. It condemns basically all other branches of knowledge, or it condemns duality, either way. If they, in some Upanishad, the glorification of a Advaita Jnanam, praising, and some other Upanishad, Eka Vijnanena Sarvamidam Vijnatam Bhavati, well, it's a glorification of Advaita Jnanam, knowing one thing alone as everything. And the one who knows is called Sarvajna, etc., etc. So Advaitam has been praised, and in other Upanishad, Dvaitam has been condemned. That is also glorification. That way also. See, sometime in a group it happens, when a few people are there, either you condemn others and thereby you praise that person indirectly, or you praise the person directly. Either you condemn others, so that will be indirect praise to that person, or you praise the person directly. You say some good words about him directly. So both is called Arthavada. And so mrityasya mrityum apnoti yahya nana iva pashyati. So one who is having this vision of a duality, definitely he is traveling from death to death, etc. So definitely without this, one who dies without Brahmajnanam also, well, he is a miser, etc. in a Brihadaranyaka. So well, yaha atmanam aviditva asman lokat praiti saha krupanah. One who leaves this body, one leaves this world without knowing the self, is a miserly fellow. Because I gave him an infinite wealth and he did not utilize it at all. And so that is how it is. Infinite wealth. So if you remember, Swamiji used to say that, right? If you don't know the infinite, the loss will be infinite. Yeah. So you are infinite. You are Purnamadah Purnamidam. Purnamudam. So you are infinite. You are full. Fullness cannot go away. Fullness can only go under one condition. You are not aware of your fullness. That's the only condition. A loss of fullness is not knowing you are full. That's the only condition. That is that we have discussed also. I am an insignificant being. This is a Mithyagnana. Born. Adhyasa. Mithyagnanam is Adhyasa. Born of the self-ignorance. Will only the condition. Only one condition by which the sun can be covered. Sun cannot be covered. No, sun covers. A cloud covers a sun. Kya baat hai? Cloud cannot cover a sun. A cloud covers my vision of the sun. Atma cannot be covered. Even the ignorance of the Atma shines. Very existence of the ignorance of Atma and the illumination of this ignorance also in the light of the Atma. So ignorance is a cloud, cannot cover Atma. Oh, Atma is covered by the ignorance. What? Nothing. Even Maya cannot cover. We said, ignorance I am saying as a Veshti Upadi, Maya Samashti Upadi cannot cover. That's what Purusha Suktam said very beautifully. Purusha Suktam said, right, that this whole Maya or the Jagat is a one pada of this Brahman. One pada, 1/4 portion of the... Anyway, so it cannot cover. Only it covers my vision about myself. The ignorance definitely covers my vision about myself. Ignorance cannot cover the self. Ignorance covered my vision about myself. That's what it is. And therefore, ultimately, anyway, so basically, the praise of a Brahmajnanam could be either, praise of Advaita Jnanam can be both the ways, either condemning all other types of knowledge or duality as such, vision of a duality, and or sometimes praising directly this vision of a non-duality. So this is how, so that is there in Chandogya 6th chapter. So glorification is that Eka Vijnanena Sarvavidam Vijnana. And 6th one is a Upapatti, reasoning. When Upanishad wants to show that, it is this Advaitam, this Brahman which is Advaitam, non-dual, and it is not irrational or a thing, it is not illogical, it is not a blind belief. For some people it's a belief that there is everything is one alone and that is Brahman, and that is a blind belief. Upanishad says, we are giving you reason for that. So, when we give you reason, it is no more a belief. If we cannot tell you what we are, the subject matter, Brahman, like Brahman Satyam Jagat Mithya, that is how you prove non-duality. Non-duality cannot be proven unless the duality is proven as a Mithya. Duality also is real and non-duality is also real. It's not possible. So experientially, the duality which you experience, definitely should be proven Mithya. Then non-duality will be Satyamalu. And that is what with a reasoning Shastra proves, that the duality is Mithya. And therefore Advaita Jnanam is a logical thing. It's not a belief. And so basically for that, what Shastra does, shows Brahman as a Jagat Karanam. Or, what is this? Brahman as Jagat Karanam means everything become Mithya. That's what it is. That's what it is. If you show Jagat as a Karyam, it logically shows, Karyam alone, Karanam alone is Satyam. Karyam cannot have independent existence. Karanam has independent existence. Karyam means effect, product, created thing. So no product has got independent existence other than Karana. Cause is independent. Effect is never independent of the cause. If it is not independently existing, it is Mithya. Anything which is not independently existing is Mithya. Which exists independently is Satya. So Brahman is self-existent. Other than that, everything is existent on account of Brahman. And therefore, so for that, to prove Jagat Mithya, that is how every Upanishad talks about Brahman as Jagat Karanam, Jagat Karanam, Jagat Karanam. To show that, what the Jagat or the duality, all these varieties, etc., is nothing but Brahman. So, its duality is Mithya. Because this whole duality, this world basically is non-separate from Brahman. No, but then Brahman has no role, Swamiji, in bringing out the creation. Where Brahman is not a Karanam. You said also, Brahman is not a Karanam and Karyam. Yeah, but through Maya. But then Maya is basically, when manifest becomes Jagat. Yeah, but then Maya is not separate from Brahman. Okay? And therefore Jagat, which is a manifest Maya, non-separate from Brahman. That is what Sadeva Sumidam Agra Asid Ekameva Dvitim, etc. Anyway, so when Upanishad gives an example, Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadheyam Mrittika Ityeva Satyam. In 6th chapter, Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadheyam Mrittika Ityeva Satyam. So there is no such substance called pot. It's just a Namarupa. Clay alone is Satyam. There is no meaning of word pot. So do you think it is a meaningless? No, it is not meaningless. But you may be trying to find a independent object called pot. You will not find it. The meaning of the word pot is clay. Therefore it is meaningful word. Because one person told me, when I said the meaning of word pot is not there in the outside world, it has only in the Vacharambanam. Word pot is there, but the meaning called pot, object, is not there in the creation. Then the word pot has no meaning, means pot is a meaningless word. I said, no, the meaning of the word pot is clay. This is Pujya Swamiji. So they are just saying, it goes on and on and on. He picks up a pot, and I don't know, the analysis, my God. So this is how Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadev, he loves, Puja Swami used to love this statement of this Tattvamasi Prakram. Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadev, Mrittika Ityeva Satyam. Proves non-duality, that's all. Logically proven mithya. Oh, everything is one, everything is one. It's a blind belief. Oh, Vedantin, it's a blind belief. It is not a blind belief. Brahman is shown as a Jagat Karanam, and thereby Jagat is shown as mithya. Jagat is a Karya, product, not independently existing, independent of the Karya. It doesn't exist. Karanam Satyam, Karyam mithya. Brahma Satyam, Jagat mithya. And that's how Upapatti. Upapatti means reasoning. Brahman, which is non-dual, and there is nothing other than Brahman, means the Brahman without one without the second. From that whole creation came, etc. Well, such a Brahman, which is non-dual, is a subject matter of the Upanishad, also has been proven through reasoning. The sixth linga. So, Upakarma Upasambharo, Abhyasaha, Apurvata, Phalam, Arthavadaha, and Upapatti. Lingam Tatparya Nirnay. So this is how the fourth factor, which was shown by Nayayika, we can also prove that through that. So any sentence, basically Vakyartha, definitely should have four things: Akanksha, Yogyata, Sannidhi, and Tatparya. So first three things are very simple. Akanksha, expectancy. So well, definitely when you utter a word, it will create an expectancy. Then you put a word which is appropriate, which is fitting to the word uttered before. To the meaning of that first word which you uttered. Well, in compatibility, you have to put an appropriate word for that. And that will make a sentence so which has that yogyata also. And then sannidhi. Even though, akanksha is there, expectancy is there, and even you put an appropriate word also, but you don't maintain a proximity. So, then it will not be a vakyata. You will not get a meaning of the sentence. So, sannidhi also is required. Sannidhi also is there, but then tatparya you don't understand. Eat as well poison. You eat it as so. So, you should, to arrive at the meaning of a sentence, you need the intention of the speaker or a writer. That in our case, with these six lingas, we understand the intention of the speaker called Upanishad. So this is very important in textual interpretation. Text means Upanishadic statements, and to understand that, we definitely require this lingam also. 6 lingas by which we understand the intention. Okay, so we'll see. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.